Hello, my beautiful tribe. How you doing? My goodness, eh? What a month, February. He's showing up as. It's absolutely crazy. There's a lot of strange energies happening around me, amongst the community as well. There is a lot of energies that of transformation, whether we like it or not. There's been a lot of people being forced into situations they weren't ready for, but they should have been, because the universe has been screaming from the rooftops to make certain changes, in order to allow the best version of self and energies of abundance to come through. And unfortunately, when we ignore it for whatever reason, and one of the main reasons is that we need to live and survive in this world. We all need a salary. We still have to pay bills regardless of what realm we tend to operate in most of the time. But unfortunately, the universe and our guides don't really understand that. They just see energy, they just see the path ahead, and they will force situations to happen so we can move forward, and they are more often than not painful. But we do know that through pain and suffering, it's how we grow, right? It's how we expand. Everything can't constantly be all happy and la-di-da, unfortunately. But anyway, I decided to do a little card reading for all of you today, and it's been quite interesting, and I'm going to see what comes through for you. Yeah, it's quite interesting, actually. Yep. Okay, so the first cards that's come out, so this is a deck that is to do with it's a career, life and oracle deck, which I find quite nice to use at the moment. It's been quite good in confirming things that I've just come out and said to people without even using the oracles. So so the first card that's come out, we got shedding, followed by brilliance, offerings and rewards. So again, it kind of goes hand in hand with what I just said. So we all going through a process of shedding. We're all outgrowing, whether it's a work situation. Like the card actually speaks in terms of outgrowing work. But don't just take it as work. I also think it's, a bigger picture than that. It feels like, yes, it could be work, but it could also be relationships, could also be just things in general, anything that we are holding on to that is stopping us from moving forward and, to be in the flow. So we all have been going through this process very much last year, and especially the end of last year. But as we come in 2025, we are really being pushed. We're getting that kick up the backside to say, okay, you really need to move forward. You need to let go of things that are holding you down. We have no choice right now, because the more we can shed, the more we can resolve, the more space we are creating energetically within ourselves to allow that fresh, new creation energy of abundance to come into us. And once you do that, you will find your own brilliance. You'll start shining and attracting peoples and things and situations that are more in alignment with yourself. We're all being pushed to break away from what we call the rat race, whatever that is and whatever that means for you, and step away from the mind and step into the heart and really follow our inspiration, follow our highest excitement. You know, because when we're in that flow, when we are following our highest excitement, that's when the ideas come in. That's when we start creating and shifting, you know, things for ourselves. And following on to the next card, offerings, it says you'll be offered a new position or investment opportunity. So it comes with a warning as well, because it says whatever you are allowing to come through. So when you're in a flow and you're allowing the energy of coming in, you're going to start getting lots of different things coming in. And sometimes it's not necessarily going to be things that are 100% in alignment. You might feel all shiny in that moment. But you really need to tap into your intuition, and you need to, you know, come from a heart space and not the mind. I can't stress that enough, because when, you know, your mind is always going to trick you. Your mind is always going to say, oh yeah, go for this. This is good for you. This is shiny. This looks promising. But, you know, sometimes if you're jumping too quick to make a decision because it looks good, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is the best thing for you. So you're gonna get a few things coming in for you, a new direction, new opportunities, whatever it is. Don't just jump. Don't, you know, we as human beings, we have a tendency of jumping, you know, coming from an emotional state, and that's the worst place to make decisions. So I always say this: take a deep breath and just bring yourself back to center, to your 0 point, and then just bring it from your mind, come into your heart and see how it feels inside. How does it feel in your gut? Is your gut in alignment with your heart? If it is, then you can't go wrong, because that's your divine self speaking to you. And once you do that, once you do take this step, then you will be rewarded. Whatever it is, you know, maybe you're happy with the work that you're doing, but maybe you're not quite, you know, satisfied anymore with the position that you're in. So maybe you want to grow within the company, grow the business, grow whatever it is. So maybe you want to make a shift so you can move up the ladder. You know, whatever your highest excitement is for you, it's yours. You know, nobody can tell you this is the right path and this isn't. You know, if you're happy in what you're doing and that's in alignment with you and your soul, then that's what's right for you. So once all of this, you've done all these steps and all of this is in alignment, and you're really being in that flow state, then you will be rewarded. You will reap the benefits in the end. And I'm going to have a quick look if I can get a little bit more. There we go. So we got Black Swan on top of the deck. Perspective. Change your perspective, you know. If there's something that keeps repeating, if there's a situation that keeps looping, or it keeps playing in your mind and you always come into the same conclusion, perhaps you should step back and change your perspective the way on this situation. Because when you look at it from a different angle or with a different light, it might be something completely different than what you've been thinking or seeing or feeling. That was just on the top of the deck. So the cards that come out followed are the Roll the Dice, Journey, Gifts, Cutting Ties. So it's very much about, so once you shed and you're allowing the flow, and you're consciously letting things go, so you can allow this opportunities and abundance to come in. You also have to put yourself out there. So it's not just a matter of sitting on your laurels and waiting for things to fall on your lap. You know, it's not like that for everybody. Sometimes you have to move the energy yourself. You physically have to shift it. So just sitting there and shedding and healing and cutting cords sometimes is not enough. So you have to make certain moves, but also get yourself noticed. You know, if you normally are shying away from showing your potential and gifts and talents that you normally keep hidden, you know, now it's time not to be so precious about it. Now it's time to say, you know, this is me, here I am, this is what I can do, this is what I've got to offer, you know, let's go. So it's not time to be shy here. And this will take you on a journey. You know, you might have opportunities that are coming in that might mean that you are moving as well, whether it's a different country or whether you are going to be traveling for work. You know, maybe you move more into the city or vice versa, come more to the country where it's a bit quieter. And in honesty, I do encourage everyone to do that right now, because in the cities, the energies are quite insane and they're very, very draining and depleting. So if you do have the opportunity that you can move somewhere a little bit more in nature, more remote, please do consider it. I'm not going to say take it, you know, blindly. Just consider it if that's the right move for you. You know, it might be a case that you'll even step back and take a break, and you go exploring, you go traveling around a little bit, just to, you know, to clear that energy and just, again, see things from a different perspective and really feeling into yourself and see what you want to do, you know, if you don't know what your highest excitement is, you know, you will need to take a little bit of time out just to feel into yourself and into your soul. And you know, we all have a plan, we all have a purpose that we're here. Just unfortunately, a lot of us are kept so busy and we haven't really asked the question. You know, we've not really had the time or been taught to step back and to feel, to ask our soul, you know, what do I want? What's best for me? So that's very much something that's happening in 2025, and finding your place. And when you take yourself away, I love this, gifts. And when you take yourself away, you know, whether you do go travel, where you step back and start making those inquiries to your soul, then you're going to start uncovering new talents that you maybe didn't know you had, you know. You might find yourself that you have certain skills that whether you kept hidden or you didn't realize you had, and that's going to actually bring in better opportunities and better position for yourself. You know, that it's going to bring in more money. That's part of that shift and that movement. And yeah, then the next card is reinforcing about cutting ties. So when you uncover new talents, so maybe it's not necessarily that you stay where you are. It might even be the case that once you step back and you get yourself out there and you're taking yourself to different classes, whether it's sound baths or meditation, or you go into art classes, or you go in dancing, or whatever it is that you feel like you want to try, you know, something different. Then you might realize that you don't want to be where you are, and you might want to change the job that you're doing, or you know, change the path that you're following. You have to cut the ties with the past. Again, it's reinforcing this so you can actually move to something better. Again, this card says ending job doesn't mean ending burning bridges, so go with grace. Grace is a word that has been really punching through since last, I would say, November, December. Yes, that's interesting. I love that. Thank you, Spirit. And then I just want to have 3 more, please. Let's see. Okay. So the last three cards are guidance, strategy, and passage. Yeah. This kind of ties in a little bit with a little reading I gave a friend earlier. So pay attention, because Spirit, the divine, is always working with you. It never stops. We are the ones that are too busy to hear. We are too busy to see. We're too busy to listen. You know, everything is showing you the path. It's showing you the way forward. You know, even if it means that they're bringing forth a new skill, they're making you realize a new skill, again ties in with the other card, you know, showing you a different destiny, a different purpose in your life, where you're going. There's been a lot of people that are totally changing their path, and that's something that Gordon is trying to do. He no longer feels fulfilled in his job, in his business at the moment, and he has been for the last 2 years. But taking that step, it's really, really hard, especially when what you do is, it's, you know, paying the bills, allowing me to do what I do. Let's be honest about it. And I'm so grateful and blessed and appreciate it so much. But there comes a point where you do really need to sit and listen and really carve, okay, this is not making me happy anymore. What's the way forward? What can I do? What's my purpose? You know, not many of us will stop and feel into our soul and ask, what's our purpose? What I'm here for? What am I supposed to do? You know, some of us are lucky enough to know that, you know, from childhood, really, from birth, we come here with a purpose, and others go on a bigger journey of remembrance. I always say this is about remembrance and rediscovering who they are, and why they came here for. But if we don't stop and take at least 15 minutes for ourselves and, you know, and ponder on those questions, those deep questions, yeah, how are we to know? And when all of this is happening as well, coming together, or even before, it's very important to have a strategy, to have a step-by-step plan. So once you have made that soul inquiry and you have cleared the path and cut the cords and starting to feel into your energy, into your soul, and to what you want to be doing with your life, you know, where is your soul guiding you to? You want to set a plan in motion. So you literally want to be writing it down. I always say to write it down step by step. Okay, this is where I am. This is where I want to be. How do I get from A to B? And actually put a plan of action in place so you can work through it. And as you work through it, and also by writing it, you'll roll the dice, right? You're putting yourself out there. You're creating that shift in energy, and you start attracting what you wish to manifest, you know. And the last card, it's passage. And again, it's drumming in that for a lot of us, whether you're happy in what you're doing or not, I feel that wherever you are in this moment in time, it's like a means to an end. It's okay for now, but there's something better and greater in store for you. And you are going to I'm going to read this. You are making the uncertain voyage to a new world. Enjoy the discoveries as you go. So we are all shifting. We are all moving into the best version of ourselves. I mean, that's the focus of the sound journeys that I do, to connect you all with your divinity, with your truth, so you can have a better life, you know, a happier life. You can all move forward into bigger and better things for yourself, but, you know, not just not just materialistic, but spiritually as well. And, you know, that's why it's very much about mind, body, and spirit. You can't have one without the other. So it's okay to be wealthy as long wealth is not your main focus. Always be in gratitude of everything you achieve, everything you have, everything you're gifted with by the divine, by the universe. You know, we are abundant. We are in a constant state of abundance. We just don't recognize that because we're not taught that. You know, we think that the universe is working against us. It's actually the other way around. We are finding every excuse possible to stop the abundance from flowing, you know, from coming in. You know, I'm not good enough. I don't have enough skills. I'm not got enough knowledge. And you know, I am shy. I'm not a go-getter. You know, all these excuses that we keep coming up because we're so clever. Humans are so clever and coming up with bullshit. Excuse my French. Sometimes you really need to swear, right, to just push it through, reinforce that message through. Thank you, Spirit. It's time to stop with the excuses. It's time to stop finding reasons to why we can't do this, we can't do that. If we are not happy in our current situation, then what can we do to change it? I know, I totally appreciate it that sometimes it's hard. I know that from experience. You can't just jump off ship sometimes because logistically it's not quite, you're not quite there yet. But once we start thinking, once we start pondering and seeing those cords, those ties that we need to let go of, so we start shifting that energy, then we can start breathing easier. You know, we can start thinking easier, we can start feeling easier. And when everything is in alignment, you are able to move forward in creation, manifest your highest desire. Find out where your highest desire is, where you want to be, what makes you happy, and then make those changes, make it happen. You are all divine beings. You have the power within yourself to create shifts. You just need to remember that. And it's a process, you know, the more you do it, the easier it becomes because you are shifting that energy, you're raising that frequency, right? So the higher you raise that frequency, the easier and stronger, the more magnetic you become, and you will attract everything that you deserve. And you deserve it all, you truly do. We all deserve the best, the highest. We all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to have love in our lives, you know, to have abundance. And abundance is not just financial. Abundance is everything, you know, relationships, friendships, family. Yeah, I'll leave it to that. I think that's long enough. I'm sending you all unconditional love and deep, deep healing light to you all. And I shall see a lot of you on Friday. Gratitude and blessings, everyone. Take care.